first thing that we'll be exploring is why you may be uncertain in your career. Uncertainty is the root cause of every career transition, whether it be a legitimate need to change or perhaps losing perspective on what is actually a very good opportunity. You may have just started to doubt your happiness, or you could have been wondering for months or even years whether you are in the right place. We become uncertain when something changes, and we're going to be exploring two key shifts that influence the level of uncertainty you may be feeling. The first one is fundamental change, meaning either you or the world has changed for good. The second type is perspective change, meaning that reality has stayed the same, but you see it differently. These both have different implications for whether you should change your career or what you could do differently. Let's start by exploring how you as an individual may have fundamentally changed first. We all have a unique set of passions, values, and abilities that affect our sense of fulfillment in our careers and our ability to make a real impact. These are not fixed. As we mature through our lives, we learn more about who we are. New interests inspire us to explore, and we are challenged by the endeavors of our peers and society at large. Considering this, it's amazing how we are forced to make such important decisions around what degree to study and what career to pursue when we are so young and have very little self-awareness. Whatever stage you are in, you may be coming to the awareness that you are no longer suitable for your career. Let's consider another key fuel of career uncertainty, a change in perspective. There may be times that your career or business feels like a truly passionate vocation, and there may be other times that it seems like a slog. When you are optimistic and driven by a new goal, the day-to-day grind can almost take on a whole new meaning. When you are exposed to the interesting and exciting things that your friends are doing, you may suddenly start to see your career as uneventful. Making sure that you have a balanced perspective is critical to knowing whether you need to change your career. The first thing that influences our perspective is called the optimism bias. Life is very challenging, and to cope, scientists have proven that the vast majority of us have a cognitive bias where we overestimate the likelihood of experiencing good things in our lives and underestimate the probability of experiencing negative events. An example would be the fact that 50% of couples get divorced, yet the percentage of newlyweds who think they will separate is just 0%. In our careers, optimism is a very healthy thing, as it keeps us motivated, enthusiastic, and creative. There is a big difference, however, between optimism and being in denial or deluded. We become uncertain in our careers when our potentially unrealistic expectations are suddenly challenged by reality. The next influence on our career uncertainty is called synthetic happiness. We have all heard stories where someone describes the most unfortunate experience as the best thing that ever happened to them. Researchers at Harvard University have found that when faced with unexpected bad luck or limited choices, we have the ability to generate happiness. It is one of our strongest evolutionary survival skills. The first interesting dynamic of synthetic happiness is that people experience it more when they feel that they have no choice. Someone who finds happiness in deciding that they cannot leave their jobs because of the mortgage, the school fees, or fear of stepping out of their comfort zone, has placed certain limiting beliefs on themselves that may not be true in reality. When those beliefs are challenged, they suddenly start to feel unhappy and uncertain, because they are once again faced with the fact that they potentially have some power over their situation. It appears paradoxically that when we have too many choices, that our happiness declines and our career uncertainty increases. Every day, social media bombards us with examples of people braving conformity to start passionate businesses in the most unexpected of ways. Every minute, we are confronted by the next big thing in business, get-rich-quick schemes, entrepreneurial gurus, and exciting new career paths that we never knew existed. We suddenly start to feel that we are missing out and uncertain that we are in the right career. Finally, we have what is called the halo effect. It is the degree to which we look at people, brands, and company endeavors with an unrealistic balance. Whether it is your friend who has just started a business or got promoted, we tend to only see the halo. We need to question things a lot more before we allow an outward perspective of success to challenge our inward sense of certainty that we are in the right place. We live in one of the most competitive and dynamic times, filled with constant change. Almost nothing can be taken for granted anymore. Every day, we are being challenged by new shifts that bring even more uncertainty into our career journeys. The Institute of Leadership Studies recently surveyed 9,000 employees from large companies and found that only 1 in 3 people were satisfied with the future career opportunities at their company. And we are talking about some of the most established and stable companies in the world. The Fortune 500 is the ranking of the 500 biggest companies in the world by market capitalization. In the 1930s, a company could expect to stay in the ranking for 75 years. Today, that has dropped to just 15. Due to rampant competition and innovation, organizations are having to adapt and transform more quickly. As a result, companies can no longer offer the upwardly linear career paths that many of us are used to. They cannot provide the guarantee of a job with improved income, status, and responsibility that many of our parents' generation took for granted. We often feel uncertain in our careers because of the sneaking suspicion that we are dispensable. As our companies change and no longer align with our unique values, skills, and interests, it is inevitable that we will make less of an impact